G'day guys, Sean Savage, Streaker Marine, and today's the day that we can finally have a deep dive into a Caribbean, and this is the 27F. It's the first boat built by Maritimo Motor Yachts under the new tender for Caribbean boats. The thing that I first looked at that I wanted to check out was the hull, and the hull hasn't changed. The original 27 Caribbean that we've grown up with from International Marine, the hull lives on, and now it's got this whole new deck, and it feels like the boat's just jumped literally 30 years in development, finish, and fittings, and I can't wait to show you through it. So starting from the back of the boat here, huge cockpit space and massive engine well. It's a whole new transom for the new boat here. So the transom on the original boat was a bit of a adoption from the 26. Remembering the 27s always started as a stern drive boat, and as demand for outboards came through, they adapted with that. But now that Maritimo own the brand, we've started with a whole new transom. We've widthened the transom to suit the side decks, lifted it up as well. Great step around the whole way across from port to starboard. And the way that the engine well's done, we can trim the engines all the way up and have the gearboxes completely out of the water, which is a real win. Going through that, the two big advancements for space is the transom door is bigger, wider and deeper, and so is the live bait tank. So as we step into the boat, we'll won't get too excited in there at the start. We'll start with the back of the boat. So we've got the three-quarter transom rear lounge there. So it's a nice and easy foldable traditional style lounge, very easy to use. One thing I am seeing is these big side decks. So there's a really nice depth, big side pocket, very easy to clean, maintain and fit gear into. And these beautiful side decks that run along the boat there the whole way are just gorgeous. One thing you're seeing, which maybe the camera won't give it justice, is just how beautiful the finish and the gel coat is in this boat. Ports, where are we? Starboard side, a live bait tank in the aft end there, round in circles so the fish swim better, well thought out. This one here is the fuel filler just in the back corner there, water fillers further forward. The boat now has been rated to 600 horsepower, where the original boat was 500 horsepower. So we've got those twin 300 Mercs on it. At Streaker Marine, we'll be fitting Yamahas, and we'll have the Yamaha 300s, or the option of the 200s or 250s, which is really exciting. Looking at the battery system, one thing International Marine didn't do a lot with was these sort of fittings here. So you can see this beautiful battery management panel there with our battery system. Close the door, easy access, very accessible. Looking through here to the engine wells, very, very simple. Now I'm gonna fold the transom ladder, rear lounge away. I'm gonna show you something that's pretty amazing, which is a floor locker in the cockpit floor here. So what we have here is just incredible access for maintenance, visibility, cleaning, you name it. Pumps, skin fittings, bilge pumps, transducers. Best access I've seen in a boat of this size. That's the rear of the fuel tank there. Again, fittings, everything's acceptable. So when you think Maritimo, if you know the brand, you think long range motor yachting, you think high performance, you think boat racing heritage, and you think offshore long range boating. So there really couldn't be a better tenure to take over the Caribbean legacy than Maritimo Motor Yachts. Their fundamental non-negotiable parts of their hull performance, their accessibility, their simple systems, their high performance really collaborates with what International Marine did with Caribbean boats for so many years. So one big thing that we did is we have lifted, the hull's the same, the gunnel is just unbelievably gorgeous, but above the gunnel, so this height that we're looking at here, that's been lifted. This is a whole new deck, and the lifting of that deck's give us more internal freeboard. As a byproduct, it's given us a lot more headroom under the Flybridge there. One criticism we had on the boat was you couldn't really stand under there, you had to duck. So we generated more headroom from two sections. One is lifting above the gunnel on the top decks there is a higher area, and then this side panel either side of the bridge is also increased in height, and those two things combined has really generated a beautiful amount of internal head height under the bridge. As we walk forward, You've got to really have a good appreciation for how beautiful the windows are. And there's something Maritimo's done for such a long period of time, is this incredible fittings, finishes, and just non-negotiable with quality. It is an incredible windscreen and something that you would expect to see in a multi-million-dollar motor yacht. So that is a real benefit to the new model boat, is the visibility, the windscreen, the quality of the screen going into this new boat is exceptional. The thing that I love about the boat as well, which I didn't even realize, is how flat, maybe something that we've done here at Maritimo versus the old model, I'd have to have a better look, but how flat the foredeck is. It has made this a real option for how we want to go boating, for casting, putting bean bags up here, but I'm thinking surface casting. So throwing lures around, I could stand at the front here. I've got a ginormous front casting platform, and it is going to be such a treat. When you use this boat, you do think expedition, you think offshore fishing, you think family boating. And if you're casting lures off that front casting platform, well, foredeck there, I call it a front casting platform, I don't think you could be a happier person on planet Earth. That is an incredible spot for some fishing. The other thing they've done is really kept those side gangplanks very, very clean, uncutted, lifted them up, made them wider, made it very accessible to get from the rear cockpit back into the foredeck there. So that is just a beautiful finish, beautiful lines. One thing I am seeing is they've kept tried and true with a Caribbean shape and a footprint. So when you see the boat going down the river, you know it's a Caribbean. But they've just brought the boat into that next generation, which I was saying earlier. So up here is a full-blown dance floor. It is flat, it is level, and it's a beautiful spot to be. You can see down there inside the cabin there, we'll get to there in a moment. Another thing they've done is done the obvious. They fixed the bowsprit. The bowsprit looked like it came off the QE2. It was just way too big for the boat. And they didn't have anchor lockers, so now we have an anchor locker either side. They've listened to their customers. They've given us access into the anchor well from both sides. And one thing I'm going to say about this boat continuously is storage. Look how much storage I have in the front there. Fenders, whatever I want to do. I have a Maxwell vertical winch, and I have the option, again, listening to the customers, for a drum winch. So I can fit a stainless steel drum winch in here as well, or I can run the vertical winch. Look how much room I have either side of that. That is incredible. But I will use the word storage a lot, because it has been used incredibly well throughout this boat. Going backwards here, beautiful lines. We'll get up to that bridge soon, can't wait. Back over here. Very easy to get across. All right, let's get down into the galley here. So, talk about a multi-million-dollar looking boat in a 27-foot, possibly trailered craft. I tell you what, we have struck it lucky with this thing. It is an incredible boat. So let's have a look here. We have a forward side-mounted seat in front of the galley there, so nice and clean. I would suggest there's storage under there. Let's have a look. We'll go through each area on its merits. So we'll check this out first. Bingo. There is a huge storage compartment there. And then we'll go into the fridge. Beautiful. Now this bottom latch here has been designed for the size of a pie warmer. So if you want to put a pie warmer in the boat, this storage compartment would go, and the pie warmer would go in here. These are the sort of fittings and the finishes and the cabinetry you'd expect from the Maritimo range, which has just been adopted into this Caribbean. And I'll tell you what, for the Caribbean people out there that love the product, this is the greatest result that could have ever happened to the brand. It has gone with the tried and true hull, but into a 21st century functionality and finish. Servery bench top at the top there. Looks like we've got a sink in here. Bingo. Then we have the beautiful solid surface bench top, our switch panel over here with all our switching, our fusion stereo. One thing I am also seeing is this beautiful headliner. So we're going to see that throughout the boat. You see up here, this beautiful headliner, this beautiful finishes. One thing that we always heard from Caribbean owners is the husband loves the boat, but the wife wasn't so convinced. This is a beautifully, beautifully finished boat, and it's made right here in Australia. So we should be very proud of what we're still building here in Australia. They generated a scallop in the Flybridge there, and that's to give you headroom. So the first few times that I looked at the design of the boat, they bumped their head as they went in. Headroom was too low below the Flybridge, and the access was very cumbersome. So scalloping out the Flybridge there and generating that extra head height, I'm presuming it's 6'4", 6'5" under there. It is an incredible space. So looking over to port, we have a ice box that could be used also as a kill tank. So it's got a drain in there. So if you want to put ice in there and put your fish in there, go for your life. If you want to put ice in there and put drinks in there, just as happy. You could also put, I think, one of those 12-volt fridge converters in there as well, like the ones that go on the side there, and fill that in. It's insulated in there, so it will stay cold. But I think you could keep that cold via power if you wanted to. If not, use it as a fish bin, use it as an esky, depending on what you're doing. So let's have a look here. This is beautiful. So we've got a forward and aft facing portside lounge. They're big seats. So those seats there are really a 1.5 to 2 person seat. Beautiful table. Forward of that, aft facing lounge. Looking at those windscreens, just have a look at the finish of the palements, of the headliners, that windscreen. They don't muck around here. They build incredible products, and I'll tell you what, you know, if you're looking at these sort of boats, normally you're looking at aluminium, it's sort of agricultural, or you're looking at European stuff that's just a little bit sort of fiddly. This thing here is Australian made. It's made for Australian conditions, and I just think it's going to hit the market perfectly. I'm so excited to sell these here at Streaker Marine. So this converts into a bed. Apparently it's very easy. Now I'm not going to lie, I have actually done this. I did this a minute ago to get a little head start so I didn't ruin the video. And it was very easy. So let me demonstrate what we do here. There we go. Get rid of the cushions. We fold the table, pop out the table here. This edging here is designed for the table, and then this here hooks on to stop the table from sliding out. So this goes in like that as our base, and then these two backrests have been designed to fit perfectly in here to make into a bed. So I don't know how long this has taken, but I'm guessing it's been about 30 seconds, and I've converted a dining living area into a bed. It's 1.9 something meters long, so it's actually long enough to be classified as a bed. And then once we're done, so this could be a lounging area, this could be obviously a sleeping quarter, but then when you're out and about and you're using the boat for general use, boom, boom, back out, pop the table, in, and done. Incredible. Now, speaking of sleeping quarters, the old Caribbean, actually, I've jumped the gun. We have 2 storage compartments under the floor that we've never seen before in the Caribbean product. So looking at these here, there is a forward and aft. Beforehand, I believe there was a water tank under there, and it was maybe something else, but the floor lineup, so this galley and the side lounge and etc. has all been put into the deck mold. That's why it's such a beautiful finish, and it's just been put into perfection. So they've committed to this layout, they've committed to this galley, and by doing that, we've really been able to shape the floor and shape all the internals to give that beautiful finish and functionality. Well, look in here. I said that word storage earlier, and I said I'd say it a lot. So, huge storage compartment in here. Another one here, which is just incredible. Very, very easy, clean, lined, really nice area. The cabin doors, which I was about to mention a moment ago, traditionally have been so-so in the 27 especially. It was very narrow and you had to duck your head to get in. So looking at this now, we fixed this by doing a double door and an opening deck hatch. So by doing that, we can close this door, remembering in the foredeck up here, it's getting a bit dark now, but we'll see it still, there is a hatch with a fly screen. We'll go in there in a minute, but you can close this off, have a beautiful finish, and all happy. And then when you want to use it, up she goes to give us the headroom, push these in, and then we've got great access into the cabin. So looking under the cabin, there's an electric toilet on the bottom there, and have a look through here. Again, finish, fit, quality, lights, headliners. It's literally what you'd expect from a Maritimo as far as finish, headliners and finish in this cabin area. So you close those doors, here's your fly screen here, and you could just open the hatch, have the fresh air, keep the fly screen on there, close the doors, and you're literally in your own little suite. Remembering this is a boat that can be towed. It's 3.25 ton as a boat with the options that are fitted in this boat with the engines. So then you'd allow possibly a ton for the trailer, which gets us to 4.2, and it's under 4.5 tons. So it is a towable boat with all these things that we're going through. We're running out of light, so let's get up in the Flybridge. Whole new layout. So the original Flybridge, you used to, the ladder was on the starboard side, driver's on the starboard side, and every time you wanted to get up or down, you had to obstruct the driver and bounce over him or step over him to get down the ladder. So we kept the helm to the starboard side, but moved the ladder to the port side and generated this huge lounge here, which will fit 2 or 3 people quite comfortably. And the biggest dash you'll ever see, because people are just mad on electronics, so we give them the footprint. That is a huge space for electronics. That's a 16-inch screen. You could fit 3 19s there. You could go as wild as you possibly want. You could fit as many as your heart content or budget can fit. So gives us that huge footprint to future-proof the boat. Beautiful lined dash, great driving position, and a side mount console for our binnacle control and joystick, which is just a real treat. So instead of having the controls up here on a funny angle, because it's all been an afterthought, they have gone to town and really thought about how they can functionally put us in the best ergonomic spot to be comfortable up here for a long period of time. Looking over that foredeck there, it's brilliant. And then just having a quick look in here, if we see, this is a huge storage compartment. This is the biggest storage compartment I've seen. It's probably hard to see in the dark here, but it goes on forever, and it's wide and deep. You could put whatever you want in here. So if you're doing expedition stuff and you're doing the Kimberleys or you're doing the Whitsundays and you want to use this boat for that sort of style, you could load that area up with all your gear. I'm in love with this thing, and I'm very proud at Streaker Marine to be actually offering this product for Victoria, where the brand was founded in 1958 in its home state. It's going to be represented from Streaker Marine. Yamaha outboards will be fitted on it. We are ultra excited to be a part of this journey and provide what we think is the greatest heritage brand back into Victoria and start selling what we think is just the ultimate explorer boat, and so excited to see what Maritimo come up with next in the Caribbean range. They have released the 40. Stay tuned for that video because the boat is right there and we'll do that tomorrow. But it's a very exciting time to be in the Caribbean family. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us here at Streaker Marine. We'd love to help you with the next Caribbean boat purchase or any other boats that you're looking at. Please sing out. We think we're pretty good at our job, so give us a chance. Talk soon. Thanks again. Sean Savage, Streaker Marine.